Yeah, well. Yes, I didn't say. What are you looking so sad about, Jack?
I'm surprised at you. I mean, I'm really insulted. That's not right, what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm getting drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talk. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talk about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, Clayton, one time during my career, I went on a Bomber of the Month tour.
Bum of the month. I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Miss Cass, crush the legend, Al Booger. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. Today, the life and career of Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia has the family today. It's Friday, right back at the end of another big week of boxing history. Profile, time for the profile. Mikey Garcia today came from a boxing family. Father, brother, both two brothers were boxers. And Mikey was a pretty good one. And we're going to get on up into it today. Okay? But yeah, time for some more live boxing. Tomorrow we got the Eubank Ben rivalry continues, right? The Suns are in there now. Chris Eubank won the first fight. The second fight is the rematch is tomorrow We got Jack Catterall on the card, Adam Azim. Not a bad card. Okay. Full of some of the great UK fighters. So that should be a good one. Looking forward to that tomorrow. But we got a big day coming up. So we're going to go on down into the archives and see what our fight of the day is today. While we holler at the studio audience, let me see if I can come up with a good classic fight for y'all. Okay. Today's fight of the day is Evander Holyfield versus Bert Cooper, November 23rd, 1991. Smoking Bert shakes the real deal. Smoking Bert shakes the real deal. Okay? November 23rd, 1991. And salute to Crush the Legend, the Morning Man, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Giving you that great top shelf boxing talk. And Al Booger in the building. Salute Al Booger. How are you today? Knowledgeable boxing mind, historian, Al Booger. Okay, let's get into the fight of today. We got Evander Holyfield versus Bert Cooper, 1991. What's that, like 34 years ago? Yeah. Okay, let's get into that so we can get to Mikey. I ain't gonna bother Mikey about thinking he signed. He ain't gonna mention he thought he saw something today. Okay, Holyfield versus Cooper. Now let's raise a glass and give a heartfelt salute to Bert Cooper. May he rest in peace. He went on to that big ring in the sky in 2019, leaving us far too soon at the age of only 53, a victim of the scourge that is pancreatic cancer. But thanks to his thrilling wars with a host of excellent heavyweights, the fight game will never forget him. He was, by all accounts, a wayward and wandering soul, erratic and searching, lacking the focus and discipline to take his gifts to the next level. But what excitement he gave to those who love a good old-fashioned heavyweight slugfest. Bert Cooper, yes. Always in slugfest. There's a shot of Bert right there. 1966, 2019, left us at just 53 years of age. Bert Cooper, rest in peace. Now they called him Smoking Bert Cooper because he came from the fight city of Philadelphia and was trained for a while by no less a legend of boxing than heavyweight champion Smoking Joe Frazier himself. And like Frazier, Bert knew only one way to box: drive forward and look for the knockout. Now, no, he didn't have a Hall of Fame career, and yet there's something wholly admirable about this tough, carefree battler who retired with a record of 38 wins and 25 losses. A journeyman who had an incredible journey, who partied as hard as he fought, who faced a long list of talented contenders and champions, including Riddick Bowe, Mike Weaver, Ray Mercer, Michael Moorer, and yes, Evander Holyfield. Now, part of what makes Cooper hard not to like is the fact he was something less than a totally committed athlete. Now, us regular guys can relate to a man who loves a good fight, but at the same time isn't enamored with all the self-denial required to excel in boxing. Reportedly, the Frazier-Cooper partnership dissolved primarily because Bert just could not resist a good party. At any given time, there was a more than reasonable chance you'd find Bert enjoying himself in a crowd of fun-loving people with a cold brew and likely one or two other contraband substances. More than once, Bert's penchant for partying led to trouble with the law and a stint in rehab. Yeah, more than once. Bert ended up in rehab. And there's Bert, he had a 1990 war. Well, right here. 1990 war with Ray Mercer. Now, he lost that fight, but he broke Mercer's jaw during the festivities of their 1990 war. Yeah, Ray got the win, but he came out of it with a broken jaw, courtesy of Bert Cooper. Okay? Now, some, of course, judged Bert harshly for quitting after the second round in his fight with George Foreman in 1989, as if any of us would have the guts to do differently given the circumstances. Not only was Cooper going up against a genuine heavyweight legend with dynamite in both fists, but the former cruiserweight was also dealing with a 40-pound weight disadvantage. Now, Cooper tested positive for cocaine after the Foreman fight. And at the time, it appeared there was no reason at all to take smoking Bert seriously ever again. Everyone just shook their heads at the lack of discipline and the waste of so much actual talent and figured Cooper was done after the Foreman fight, right? Now, Bert turned the Foreman debacle into a fun story, which may or not be true, but which again only endeared the man to some. Now, according to Bert, a pair of identical twin prostitutes propositioned him not long before his date with Big George, and he ended up on a wild bender of non-stop partying that lasted several days. I was set up, Bert declared. Now, God love you, Bert, but if the story is true, all you had to do was just say no. Just say no. That's all you had to do, Bert. Right? Mike Rem in the building. What's up, Mike? Holyfield versus Cooper for the fighter today. Then we're going to get to Mikey Garcia. But yeah, Bert said he had a date with a couple of identical twin prostitutes a couple of days before the Foreman fight in a party. He said he was set up. All he had to do was just say no, right? But it seems saying no just wasn't in Cooper's makeup. Now, lucky for us, because a boxer less reckless and more shrewd and serious about his career might have said no when he was offered the chance to fight for the world title on just a few days' notice in the champion's home city, no less. Now, Evander Holyfield had been in training for a huge money clash against Mike Tyson, but the fight had to be canceled once Iron Mike found himself facing a rape charge. Now, top contender Francesco Damiani was the fill-in, the fight having been moved to Atlanta, but the Italian suffered a foot injury in training. So Cooper got the call and the chance to be a substitute for the substitute in Holyfield's big homecoming fight. Yeah, that was in Atlanta. And Bert took the challenge. So the fight where Holyfield was supposed to fight Tyson when Tyson had the rape charge, Bert was the replacement. Bert was the replacement for the replacement, right? The home of the Braves welcome home the heaviest hitter, Holyfield versus Cooper, the heavyweight championship of the world, Saturday, November 23rd. Okay, so Bert stepped in. Now, it can't be overstated how much of a long shot Cooper was that night. How absolutely no one took him seriously as a challenge for the real deal Holyfield. Now, sure, Bert was on a 4-fight winning streak, and it looked impressively strong and tough in a losing effort against Ray Mercer the year before. Remember, he lost to Ray, but remember, he broke Ray's jaw. But the bottom line was, he had a record of 26-7 at that point, with 5 of those losses coming in the last 2 years. And in addition to quitting against Big George Foreman, he had been blown away by young contender Riddick Bowe in just 2 rounds. Surely, he posed no threat at all to an undefeated heavyweight champion in his prime, like the real deal Evander Holyfield. Surely Burt posed no threat. And in round one, such views appeared confirmed when an over-anxious Cooper, not the least bit intimidated, got off to a shaky start, bringing the fight to the hometown hero with admirable zeal, but also leaving himself wide open. Evander took full advantage, unleashing a full assault of heavy blows. A hard liver shot caused Burt to fold up like a cheap suitcase and crumple to the floor. And at that moment, it appeared those who had dismissed Holyfield versus Cooper as a total mismatch were correct. But Cooper beat the count, survived the round, and, if nothing else, had shown he could take Evander's best punches and keep coming. There's a shot of Cooper and Holyfield doing the battle. Holyfield lands a right. That's early in the fight. Now, round two was more the same, as the fans in Atlanta were treated to an action-packed battle. Holyfield's straighter, more accurate shots, giving him a solid edge. Cooper was standing his ground and firing back, but the cleaner punches were definitely Evander's. Still, they didn't seem to be bothering Burt that much, as he just kept catching and throwing, willing to take any number of punches to land his own. Wow, we should have had Burt on that catcher's list the other day. And while it was turning out to be an excellent show for the fans in the Omni Coliseum and those watching on HBO, Holyfield was taking a risk fighting Cooper's fight and giving Burt the chance to land big shots. And soon enough, Holyfield would pay the price. Yeah, you know Holyfield, him and Lou Duva would have a great game plan coming in, but once Holyfield took their first big shot, the game plan was out the window, and Holyfield was going to stand there and rumble then. And that's what he did that night against Burt. And soon enough, Evander would pay the price for that. Now, round three was epic, one of the greatest heavyweight rounds ever. Listen to this, round three. Now, round three opened with Holyfield working to take full control, coming out hard, looking to put the long shot challenger in his place. He unloaded 6 big bombs to start the round, but Cooper just grinned at it, righted himself, and fired back. The two heavyweights traded at a manic pace, but then, a minute into the round, Burt found the angle he was looking for, dug in, and crashed home 2 vicious right hands. The first one forced the real deal to give ground, which made room for the second shot to land even harder. It detonated perfectly full force on Holyfield's jaw and buckled his legs. Evander tried to clinch, but Cooper got off 2 more huge right hands, causing the dazed champion to lose balance, turn his back on Cooper, and crash onto the ropes like an unsteady drunk at closing time, falling onto the bar. Yeah, look at that. Holyfield was in serious trouble. Look at his legs. And since he crashed into the ropes, he didn't go down, but Mills Lane called it a knockdown because the ropes held him up. There he is, sending Burt Cooper to the neutral corner. But look at Holyfield. He is in serious trouble. Look at his legs. Look like spaghetti. Okay? No part of Evander's anatomy other than his feet touched the floor. But since only the ropes had prevented that from happening, referee Mills Lane correctly called the knockdown and issued the champion a mandatory 8 count. It was the first knockdown of Evander Holyfield's professional career. Now, when the fight resumed, the crowd was going berserk, and the real deal's legs looked more than a little shaky. That's an understatement. More than a little shaky. Look at him. He looked like he's in real trouble. There was 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the round, and the heavyweight champion of the world was on Queer Street. And it was then that Burt Cooper made a huge mistake. Yeah, Burt had him, but he made a huge mistake right then, okay? Instead of calmly coming forward and taking the openings available to do further damage, Cooper frantically threw a series of huge home run shots at Evander's head as the champion backed off. But only one punch landed cleanly, and all the while, Cooper ignored the open target that was Holyfield's midsection. Soon enough, Cooper was arm weary and breathing hard as the champion, just 20 seconds after getting the 8 count, pushed his tormentor off and landed a thudding uppercut. Holyfield had amazing recuperative powers, and just 20 seconds later, he was still a little dazed, but 20 seconds later, he was back throwing big shots, landed a huge uppercut. Cooper blew it. Instead of, going to the body, changing levels, he just started throwing home run shots at Holyfield's head and tired himself out. And Holyfield caught him with a huge uppercut. The uppercut sparked a furious exchange, but it was Holyfield's punches finding their mark as Cooper's wild right hands hit nothing but air. And Cooper was already arm weary, and now he's still hitting the air. So he punched himself out, okay? He had a golden opportunity to get Holyfield out of there and take the title right there. But he blew it. Mike Mazick in the building. What's up, Mike Mazick? How are you today? Holyfield Cooper is the fight of the day right now. Okay, let's continue, because that third round was epic. There they are, still battling. The third round was a classic. And it ain't over. A powerful right hand stunned Cooper, and moments later, 2 thunderous uppercuts snapped Burke's head back, and Evander went for the kill, unloading a volley of non-stop punches, 10 consecutive power shots, landing flush. But amazingly, Cooper wasn't going anywhere. He timed Evander and landed another of his big right hands. Now, a tired Holyfield was looking to cruise through the final 30 seconds of the round, but Cooper wouldn't let it. See, Holyfield then punched himself out. He was landing, but Cooper was just taking everything. So now Holyfield tired. And then Cooper landed 2 more big right hands and then a left hook just before the bell, ending what has to be one of the most exciting and action-packed rounds in heavyweight history. Yeah, if you don't watch this fight, at least watch the third round, Holyfield Cooper. I watched it yesterday evening and then watched it again this morning. At least watch that third round. That was epic. They went at it. Cooper hurt Holyfield, almost had him out of there, but he messed up. He went head hunting instead of being smart, going to the body, head. He just went for the head and only landed 1 punch. Punched himself out. Then Holyfield recovered and came back and had Cooper in trouble. Holyfield was landing, but Cooper was taking everything. Holyfield got tired. Then at the end of the round, Cooper had control back, but the bell rang. Okay? Now, Holyfield versus Cooper was supposed to be a gimme for the real deal. Less a title defense and more a tune-up fight. Smoking Bird Cooper was supposed to be no threat at all. But here we were, 3 rounds in, and Cooper had scored a knockdown. Both fighters taking and giving tremendous punishment. And round 4 was no different, as it began with the fighters digging in at ring center like a pair of bull moose, locking horns and refusing to budge. For 3 minutes, they traded on largely even terms. Cooper throwing right hands, Holyfield unloaded with uppercuts and left hooks to the body. Yeah, there they go, battling it out. Holyfield Cooper. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. I know Bruce Gas saw that one. That was a great one, wasn't it, Bruce? Evander Holyfield, Burt Cooper, 1991. Salute, Bruce Gas. Okay, let's continue. So, in round 5, it was now obvious that Holyfield was the fresher man with more gas left in the tank. And once again, he fearlessly looked to take control. He stunned Cooper with an uppercut and then a right hand, then another uppercut, then another right hand. His attack so ferocious A stoppage appeared imminent. Seriously hurt, Cooper, for a moment, turned his back in the face of the onslaught. But one imagines, a voice in Bert Cooper's brain screamed, "You quit against Big George Foreman, and they branded you a coward. Show him what you were made of, damn it." And instantly, Cooper returned to the fray, coming forward, taking still more uppercuts, but refusing to cave in. Like a dish digger, heaving up one huge shovel full of rocks after another, Evander launched blow after powerful blow with all his weight and strength. And if it seemed impossible that Cooper could keep absorbing so many big shots, so too was it impossible for Holyfield to keep throwing them. And then, just as the champion appeared spent from dishing out this non-stop torrent of hellish punishment, Mills Lane called time. Why? Because Holyfield had smashed Bert Cooper's rock-hard jaw so many times and with such force that his right glove had split open. Just when the stoppage appeared imminent, Mills Lane stopped the fight because Holyfield's glove had split, so Cooper got a big break in time to recuperate. A lengthy break ensued as the champion's glove was removed and replaced. And when action resumed, the Real Deal and Smoking Bert battled on largely even terms for the rest of the round, as they did in round 6. The only difference being the pace slowing some, as it had to, given the ferocity of what had come before. Okay? Holyfield versus Cooper was now threatening to become a war of attrition. But that was one war Cooper could not win, as he no doubt understood. The more disciplined athlete, who had been immersed in a Spartan training camp for many weeks, was Holyfield. Whereas it was entirely possible that Cooper, who hated training, was only days removed from his latest party. Okay? And there's Holyfield landed a big uppercut. And that's what eventually ended it, was Holyfield's uppercuts. Okay? And so, Bert started round 7 strong but desperate, looking to give the fight all he had while he still had it. To the crowd's delight, they were slugging toe-to-toe again. Cooper throwing the right and body punches on the inside, Holyfield an uppercut. But then, with 20 seconds left, Evander struck with a left hook, followed by a right, and Cooper froze like someone who had just got some really bad news. Where Holyfield found the energy to pounce as he did, no one can ever say. But he didn't hesitate, and again, he was landing that fearsome uppercut over and over, Bert's head snapping up and down like a loose shingle in a windstorm. Evander went for the finish, Cooper paralyzed, taking too many shots. In all, 20 unanswered flush blows before Mills Lane finally, mercifully, stepped between the fighters, pushing Holyfield away and embracing Smoking Bert Cooper. And so it was, and so it had to be. For an iron-tough battler and a gifted puncher who refused to make all the sacrifices necessary to be an elite-level prize fighter, it was the defeats which were the most memorable and noble, not the wins. Smoking Bert Cooper came so close against Michael Moorer, Ray Mercer, and Evander Holyfield, and in the process gave us some of the most thrilling slugfest in heavyweight history. It's not a bad legacy, not at all, especially when you had so much fun in the process. There you have it, the fight of the day, Evander Holyfield and Smoking Bert Cooper, won by Holyfield. But if you don't watch the fight, at least watch that third round, man. I just watched it like a few hours ago. Again, after watching it yesterday. That was epic. Yeah. Okay, so now let's get into Mikey Garcia. Okay, excuse me for one moment, please. Oh, I hope this tablet make it. I didn't even have it on the charger. I got 92% though. Yeah, that should make it. Okay, but how's everybody? It's Friday. We got the Eubank and Ben rivalry continues with the Suns. Their second fight. Eubank up 1-0. Jack Catterall on the card and Adam Azim, promising young British heavyweight, and a whole host of other UK fighters. So that should be good tomorrow. Okay. And then next week, you know what that is? Fight week for the big Riyadh season. Devin and Bree Norman. Now the main event is Benavidez and Yard, but everybody been talking about Devin and Bree Norman since this card was announced. That's really the main event, right? So yeah, we're gonna see. And it's next weekend, a week from tomorrow. So yeah. But let's go. Mikey Garcia, the life and career of Mikey Garcia today. Okay. Now, Miguel Angel Garcia Cortez, better known as Mikey Garcia, right? Competed from 2006 to 2021. He held multiple world championships in 4 weight classes, from featherweight to junior welterweight. And he challenged once for the IBF welterweight title. Remember that one against Earl? Yeah, so Mikey fought in 5 weight classes, okay? Featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, junior welterweight, and welterweight. Was a champion in 4. He was 5'6" tall and had a reach of 68 inches. Fought in the orthodox stance. And Mikey had a total of 42 fights during his professional career. He won 40, only lost 2. Okay, and he had 30 by the knockout route, Mikey did. Okay, I meant to do this earlier, but 75% knockout ratio, not bad for Mikey. Okay, now let's look at Mikey's early life. Early life and education for Mikey. Okay. There he is with his brother Robert and the father. He had another brother that was a boxer also. I think his name was Daniel. Yeah. I didn't want to say it, Al Booker. You did it. Mikey, I see something, Garcia. Well, I thought I saw something. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to say that, but Al Booker did it. It wasn't me. Okay. Early life and education for Mikey. Okay. Now, born to Mexican parents, Mikey's father, Eduardo, was an amateur boxer and trainer of world champion boxer Fernando Vargas at the La Colonia Youth Boxing Club. And his older brother, Robert, was a professional boxer and a former IBF super featherweight champion. And Robert lost his belt to the late Diego Corrales. And his oldest brother, Daniel, was also a boxer and trainer. And Mikey has been featured on ABC's show, American Latino TV. And they talked about balancing studies with the demands of boxing. Mikey has said he grew up in a gang-related neighborhood in Oxnard, California, and said that his parents were both strawberry pickers. His father was also an amateur boxer and a trainer too. Okay, take a look at his amateur career. Brief look at his amateur career. Then we're going to get into the pro level. Going to just go through his resume, not the entire resume, but just the big fight. You know, like Toledo, Earl. You know, some of them guys. AB. Okay. So now Mikey started his amateur career at the age of 14. In 2003, he won a silver medal at the National Junior Olympic Championships in the 125-pound division. In 2004, he won a gold medal at the National Junior Golden Gloves Championships and a silver medal at the National Police Athletic League Championships, both in the 132-pound division. In 2005, Mikey won a bronze medal at the National Golden Gloves Championships and a gold medal at the National Police Athletic League Championships. both in the 132-pound division. Yeah, the amateurs is like a pound or two off of the pros. Like 132 is featherweight in the amateurs, where 130. I mean super featherweight, where 130 in the pros. And like featherweight is 125 in the amateurs, 126 at the pro level. So let's look at Mikey's pro career now. Okay. He started off at featherweight, 126. Okay. Early career for Mikey. Now, Mikey is known as a patient fighter with good punching power, a natural right hander, but he liked to switch to southpaw during some of his fights. He turned pro in 2006 and signed with the Bob Fathers, Bob Arams, Top Rank. Mikey was undefeated in his first 20 pro fights, with 17 of them coming by way of knockout. Okay? Showed a little power early in his career, a lot of power. First 20 fights, 17 of them was knockouts. Okay? In April 2010, Mikey beat the veteran Thomas Vila by TKO in the first round to win the USBA Featherweight Championship. He then beat Mike Remillard to win the WBO NABO Featherweight Championship. And this would not only be the last boxing fight, but also the last event commentator Nick Charles would broadcast. Charles would die a few days later from cancer. Nick Charles. In his next fight, HBO asked Mikey to turn down a world title shot against Billy Dibb to fight on the undercard of Sebastian Zibic versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. After his win over Rafael Guzman, Mikey sent his well wishes to Gennaro Hernandez, who was struggling with cancer, and Hernandez would die a few days later. Months later, he beat Juan Carlos Martinez in under 4 rounds at the Madison Square Garden in New York City. Okay? And I believe Gennaro was the one, Diego Corrales took Robert Garcia's title, not Gennaro. Okay? So then Mikey had his first big step-up fight. Okay? First big step-up. Garcia versus Salido. Okay? Mikey's first major step up in competition came on January 19th, 2013 against WBO featherweight champion and ring number 1 ranked featherweight Orlando Salido. His fight with Salido was originally supposed to happen on November 10th, 2012 at Wynn Las Vegas, but Salido broke his finger and had to pull out of the fight with Mikey. And Mikey fought Jonathan Victor Burroughs as a late replacement. Now, he would get his chance again in front of a near sellout crowd of 4,850 at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City against Salido. Okay? So he did get his shot at Salido when he recovered. Okay? Now, Mikey dominated the fight from the very beginning, keeping Salido at range with his jab. Mikey knocked Salido down 4 times early on in the fight, building up a large lead on the scorecards. Now, during the 8th round, Salido accidentally clashed heads with Mikey, causing Mikey's nose to break. The fight was stopped between rounds, with the decision going to the scorecards, and Mikey won with the scores of 79-70, 79-69, and 79-69 to win his first world title. Speaking of the headbutt, Mikey said, "I had the perfect fight going on. I was beating him up good, and then he drove his head into my face. But it was accidental." Mikey earned the career high $220,000 purse for this fight. Okay, so that was his first step up and his first world title. Okay, he won in that fight, which was the WBO featherweight crown. Okay, And Salido was the number one featherweight at the time. Yep. Mikey took him out. Then Lopez. Not Teofimo. Now, Mikey was scheduled to make his first title defense against Juan Manuel Lopez in Dallas on June 15th, 2013. Now, Mikey failed to make the 126-pound weight limit, coming in 2 pounds overweight. He was stripped of his title before his first defense, okay? Now, the fight went ahead after Mikey paid Lopez a penalty of $150,000 for missing weight, okay? Now, Mikey claimed the reason for not making weight was due to missing several days of training. On fight night, Mikey rehydrated to 142 pounds, while Lopez weighed 137.5 pounds, okay, on the HBO scales. Okay? Okay, so yeah, Mikey came. They did have a fight, but he was stripped. That was his first title defense. Now, in front of a crowd of 5,605 at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, Mikey dominated the fight from the opening bell, dropping Lopez in round 2, following a straight right hand. In round 4, Mikey landed a left hook to Lopez, knocking him down again. At 1 minute and 35 seconds of round 4, referee Rafael Ramos waved the fight off, giving Mikey the win. After the fight, Mikey said, "I was able to land my jab and stand pretty comfortable. When I knocked him down, they gave me confidence that I could put him out early." Mikey landed 53 punches, with 40 of them being jabs. Okay? Versus Martinez. On August 1st, 2013, the WBO ordered their junior lightweight champion, Roman Martinez, to make a mandatory defense against Mikey. On September 9th, the date of the purse bid, a deal was set for the fight to take place on November 9th at the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas. The attendance was announced as 5,124 people, okay, for this fight. Mikey went down in the second round from a Martinez counter right hand. Mikey, however, recovered and dominated the rest of the fight before knocking Martinez out with a left hook to the body in the 8th round. Speaking of the knockout punch, Mikey said, "I thought it was a very good punch when I landed it. I felt I really hurt him enough to where he wouldn't get up. I had a feeling it would be over after I connected." Mikey landed nearly half of his total 127 power punches. This included 52 punches landed in the last 3 rounds, compared to 8 landed by Martinez. The victory meant Mikey became a 2-weight world champion, okay? Featherweight and junior light super featherweight, okay? 2-weight world champion now for Mikey. Okay, next, versus Burgos. Ant McQueen is in the building and says, "Al Booger, he saw something already." A stiff jab in his face for 12 consecutive rounds. Yeah, that was about the size of it. Earl threw a shutout. Yes, he did. Salute, Ant. Yeah, Earl threw a shutout in that one. Okay, so now, versus Burgos is his next opponent. On December 14th, 2013, it was announced that Mikey would make his first title defense against mandatory challenger, 25-year-old Mexican boxer Juan Carlos Burgos. And then this was at super featherweight, remember, his second division. Now, the fight was set for January 25th, 2014, at the theater at Madison Square Garden in New York City, on a live doubleheader on HBO Boxing After Dark, with Bryant Jennings versus Artur Szpilka as the co-main event. Now, Burgos was known to have fought to a split draw with former champion Roman Martinez on a Garcia Salido undercard in January 2013. And Mikey went into this fight with 11-fight knockout streak. Yep, he was on 11-fight knockout streak. Mikey came into this fight on. Yeah. After being staggered in the second round, Mikey took control of the fight and won close to every round for the remainder of the fight. At the end of the fight, Mikey won by unanimous decision. 118-110 on 2 scorecards and 119-109 on the third, improving to 34-0. And he landed 163 of 567 punches thrown for 29%. And Burgos landed 89 of 564 for 16%. Okay? Now, in the post-fight interview, Mike admitted he had trouble at the start. He said, his height gave me difficulty, but I found my range and I found my distance, and that was it. Burgos snapped Mikey's knockout streak, which stretched back 4 years to 2010. And the fight also marked the first time Mikey saw out the 12th round distance. He called out Yuriorkis Gamboa for a potential fight. And this fight averaged 829,000 viewers and peaked at 911,000. So Mikey called out Gamboa after this one. And then he had a dispute with Top Rank. There's him and the Bob father. You remember he was signed with Top Rank. So let's talk about that dispute. He had a contract dispute with Top Rank. Okay. Now Mikey had been unhappy over his purses, which had been increasing to career high 6-figure levels fight after fight. But he still sued Top Rank in April of 2014 to get out of the agreement. Now, although in arbitration with his promoter, Mikey had expressed plans of returning to the ring under a new contract with Top Rank. On October 15th, Mikey vacated his WBO title. He was due to make a mandatory defense against interim champion Orlando Salido. You know, he fought him at junior featherweight, remember? That's where he got his first title from. So Salido had become Mikey's mandatory at 130. Now, Mikey also cited difficulty in making the 130-pound limit, the main reason he vacated. On April 8th, 2016, it was confirmed that Mikey and Top Rank, who were locked in a dispute over his promotional contract, had reached a settlement, according to the Bob father, Bob Aaron. Now, Top Rank Vice President Carl Moretti told ESPN.com, all parties came to a mutual agreement. Details of that agreement are a confidential matter. We all move on and do what we do. Now, although Garcia's Top Rank contract was up in August, they reached a deal. Okay? So then, Mikey went to junior welterweight, okay? He skipped right over 135, although he did come back down and fight at 135, but at first, he went straight from 130 up to 140, okay? For his next fight after that. And that fight was against Rojas. Okay? Top Rank announced on June 28th, 2016, after 2.5 years off, Mikey would be returning to the boxing ring against former world featherweight title holder Elio Rojas on July 30th on Showtime in a 10-round fight at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, on the undercard of Leo Santa Cruz versus Carl Frampton. This would be a one-fight deal with promoter Lou DiBella and Showtime. Now, they met at approximately 138 pounds, so it was a catch weight. Wasn't exactly at 140, 138. Now, the weight had not been contractually hashed out, however, and Mikey planned to move down with the hopes of challenging for a world title in the 135-pound lightweight division. Okay? Yeah, so he wasn't going to stay up there. He went up to a catchweight at 138, but he had plans of moving back down to 135 after this fight. Okay? Now, Mikey scored 4 knockdowns before finishing Rojas in the 5th round by knockout. He hit Rojas face first with a left hand and dropped him with a right uppercut left hook combination. Rojas, who was only fighting for the 2nd time in 4 years, beat the count, but referee Claudio waved it off at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. After the fight, Mikey said, "I think it was a very good performance. Even though I've been out for 2.5 years, people haven't forgotten about me. I did miss boxing, but the time off helped me regain that fire." Now, CompuBox stats showed that Mikey landed 53 of 162 punches thrown for 42%, and Rojas landed 47 of 168 thrown for 28%. And Rojas had came off a 23-month layoff since his last fight, and the fight averaged 427,000 viewers. And that was only Rojas' 2nd fight in 4 years, and first in almost 2 years. Okay, then I meant to look this name up on the pronunciation that, but I didn't. Mikey versus Arnie Boxing, BBO Sports TV, Arnie Boxing in the building. Okay, salute, gentlemen. We're talking about Mikey today. Okay, BBO Sports TV, Arnie Boxing. Coming on later on tonight. BBO is at 8. Arnie Boxing is like 9, 10-ish, something like that. But both great channels. Okay. Yeah, this fight, the next fight, was against John. Stay with me for a minute, please. Okay. Okay, there it is. John something. DZ. Okay, but that's who he fought next. Okay. So Mikey announced he would be fighting at lightweight to challenge undefeated WBC champion DZ, who was 22-0 with 15 knockouts. Now, DZ claimed the vacant title by knocking out Franklin Mamani in June, and also held decision victories over the likes of Peter Petrov and former multiple weight world champion Ricky Burns. And the fight would take place at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and again serve as a co-feature to an anticipated rematch between Carl Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz on January 28th, 2017. He was the co-main for the first fight between those two, remember? Mikey had fought on their card before, remember? So, Mikey stopped DZ in round 3 to win the title and give DZ his first professional loss. Then came after Garcia hit a 2-punch combination, starting with an uppercut, which left DZ open for a final right hook, which dropped him. Back was on the floor, a knockout of the year candidate. Now the referee stopped the fight immediately. Mikey became a 3-weight world champion with this knockout win. And his purse for this fight was $375,000 compared to DZ getting $320,000. In the post-fight interview, Mikey said that he would like to unify the division and also mentioned fighting undefeated Terrence Crawford at junior welterweight. Mikey landed 50 punches and 176 thrown for 28%, while DZ landed only 16 of 60 for 27%. And it averaged 544,000, peaked at 617,000 viewers. Okay, so it went back up to 140 after that. Okay, that was his first fight at 135. Remember, he fought at the catchweight at 138. Then he went back to 140 against AB. Okay, Mikey versus AB. There they are. I know y'all remember that one. On May 25th, 2017, it was announced that talks were underway for a fight between Mikey and four-weight world champion Adrian Broner on July 29th, 2017 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Now, a deal which would include a catchweight, the super lightweight would include, well, it wasn't at a catchweight, 140, the super lightweight limit, with Showtime, the Lightning Network, to broadcast the fight. On Monday, May 22nd, AB was sentenced to 72 hours at the Kenton County Detention Center in Covington, Kentucky, on a contempt charge after failing to make multiple court appearances. Now, Mikey said he would be returning to lightweight after this fight, adding that the Broner fight was too good and too lucrative to pass up. Now, there was a stipulation in the contract. If AB missed weight, he would be fined $500,000. That's steep. That's $500,000. Now, AB said he would be more disciplined because he won't give up $500,000 and claim he had a reason to not miss weight. And he didn't. On July 20th, 8 days before the official weigh-in, AB reportedly weighed 144 pounds. And he said he would comfortably make the weight. On July 21st, the WBC announced that their Diamond Junior welterweight title would be at stake for this fight. So when the weigh-in came about, Mikey weighed in at a career high 139.5 pounds. And he weighed in more than AB. AB came in at 138.7. So he didn't lose that $500,000. That was steep, $500,000 for missing weight. Wow. Okay. So it was a fight. Now, Mikey won the fight by unanimous decision, with the three judges scoring the fight, 117, 111, and 116, 112 twice. Now, the fight started tentatively, with both fighters landing few punches in the opening round. But over the course of the fight, Mikey took over, and by the championship rounds, he was significantly outpacing AB in punches landed and thrown. ESPN scored the fight 120-108, a shutout for Mikey, right? And in the post-fight interviews, Mikey praised his performance and AB. Mikey said, "This is definitely one of my best performances ever. I think I controlled the fight in the early rounds, and I kept the activity up. Broner is a great fighter who has great skills. I was the superior fighter tonight." Now, AB was humble in defeat, but stated that he had to catch Mikey, who he claimed was running. AB said, "It was a good fight. At the end of the day, I come to fight. I come to win. And I put my heart on the line. It was Tom and Jerry. I had to catch the mouse." AB said it was Tom and Jerry, right? Now, both fighters earned the $1 million purse for the fight. And the CompuBox stats showed that Mikey was the more active boxer, landing 244 of 783 punches for 31%. And AB landed 125 of 400 for 31%. Mikey threw over 200 punches in the last 4 rounds alone, trying to get the stoppage win. And Mikey said he was open to any boxer coming over to Showtime, whether that be at 135, 140, or even 147. And the fight drew an average 881,000 viewers on Showtime and peaked at 937,000, making it the most watched fight on Showtime since Deontay Wilder defeated Bermain Stilvern to win the WBC heavyweight title in January 2015. That fight drew an average of 1.2 million. Okay? So then Mikey went up against Sergey Lipinets. Okay? Well, Sergey Lipinets. Okay? was his next opponent. Yeah, Mikey versus Lipinets. In early September 2017, Mikey took to social media and called the 4-weight world champion Miguel Cotto for a fight in December, possibly being Cotto's final fight. Mikey's trainer and brother, Robert Garcia, explained that it was his friend, Rudy Hernandez, who first mentioned taking Mikey up to 154 pounds for a one-off fight. But that never happened. On September 21st, he reiterated his desire to move up to 154 to be Cotto's final fight. Cotto's trainer was also open for the fight to take place. Okay? Now, Robert Garcia, Mikey's brother and trainer, said if Mikey is unable to land a fight with Cotto, he could potentially fight Robert Easter Jr. in a unification fight in December. On October 5th, the WBC ordered a fight between Mikey and Jorge Linares, as Linares held the WBC Diamond title, in addition to the WBA lightweight title. Now, Mikey commented on Twitter that the Cotto fight couldn't happen, as Golden Boy Promotions required him signing an exclusive long-term contract with them in order to make the fight with Cotto. Mikey also mentioned that his fight with Linares wouldn't happen before the end of the year, as Linares was unavailable in December. Now, Lance Pugmire reported for the Los Angeles Times that Mikey would most likely return on in December or January against Robert Easter Jr. Eric Gomez, president of Golden Boy, sent out a message to Mikey stating, if he wanted to fight with Linares, it could be made without any add-ons to the contract. Mikey later replied, no need to put it out in public. You also have my number. I'll call you later, bro. Gomez later announced that Mikey had rejected their offer to a one-fight agreement with a 50-50 per split with Linares. And Mikey said he had received a more lucrative offer. He said, I have more options. In fact, the guaranteed purse is better. Just as Golden Boy is looking to do what's best for their company, I am also looking to do what's best for me. Okay? So, on December 14th, 2017, RingTV.com announced that Mikey would next challenge recently crowned IBF Junior Welterweight Champion Sergey Lipinets, who was 13-0 at the time with 10 knockouts. This fight would be on February 10th, 2018 on Showtime for a package reportedly worth approximately $3.5 million. Now, according to early reports, the fight was likely to take place at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. WBC president Mauricio Suleiman announced that Mikey would keep his lightweight title regardless of the result. Yeah, because it was going to be at junior welterweight, right? On January 17th, 2018, it was reported the fight would be postponed due to Lipinets suffering a hand injury while training. Now, Lipinets' co-manager, Alex Vayfeld, stated the hand injury occurred in December 2017, and Lipinets had begged him not to postpone the fight with Mikey. A doctor's report suggested he could be out for a month. A few days later, the fight was rescheduled to take place on March 10th. The fight would remain in San Antonio, however. The Freeman Coliseum was announced as the new venue. It was going to be the Alamo Dome, but they changed it to the Freeman Coliseum. Okay? So that fight with Lipinets was his next fight. That happened. Mikey dropped Lipinets in round 7 en route to becoming a 4-weight world champion by unanimous decision after 12 rounds. The final scorecards read 116-111, 117-110 twice, all in favor of Mikey. Many other rounds were close, with Mikey doing more to win each round. Lipinets landed the harder punches, right? Now, Mikey came into the fight with a game plan, knowing Lipinets was a bigger man. Mikey used different angles behind his jab and remained patient. A left hook to Lipinets' face dropped him for the first time in his professional career. Now, he managed to get up and finish the round on steady legs. CompuBox stats showed that Mikey landed 169 of 679 total punches, 25%, and Lipinets landed 144 of 509, 28%. Mikey landed 46% of his power punches, not bad. 92 to Lipinets' 73. With the victory, Mikey also became the lineal junior welterweight champion and joined Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez as the only fighters in history to win titles at 126, 130, 135, and 140 pounds. And the fight averaged 618,000 viewers, peaked at 689,000 on Showtime. So he's a four-weight world champion, but he went back down to lightweight. He just won his title at junior welterweight, but he went back down to lightweight for Robert Easter. They had been talking about that fight for a while, remember? Mikey versus Easter. Okay? On March 12th, 2018, the IBF wrote to Mikey, giving him until March 22nd to decide whether he wants to keep his IBF title at junior welterweight, as they had a mandatory challenger, Ivan Barbarian, whatever. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The not Dennis, the other one, but the same last name, right? I'd have heard people say that I can't pronounce that, but this is Ivan, okay? Dennis of the same last name, right? There it is. This is Ivan, okay? So they had a mandatory challenger for him, so they was asking Mikey, are you going to defend your junior welterweight title, or do we strip you, right? They had Ivan lined up next. On April 17th, Mikey vacated the IBF title, confirming he would drop back down to lightweight to defend his WBC title. Because remember, he still had to hit the lightweight title too, WBC. On April 24th, WBC President Mauricio Suleiman stated Mikey would participate in a lightweight unification fight with IBF title holder Robert Easter Jr. in the summer. On May 1st, it was reported that the fight would likely take place in July or August at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. On May 4th, it was reported that Mikey was close to signing a deal with UFC President Dana White's Zuffa Boxing Promotions, right? And the fight with Easter, July 28th, was later confirmed as the date of the fight. Okay? So yeah, next was the fight with Robert Easter for Mikey. Before a crowd of 12,560, Mikey dropped Easter in the third round on his way to a unanimous decision win with scores of 116-111, 117-110, and 118-109. Okay? To become the unified WBC and IBF lightweight champion. The fight started with Easter using his distance well to keep Mikey at arm's reach. In round 3, Mikey knocked Easter down with a left hook to the head. Mikey did not seem to struggle to get close to as Easter, who was using his long jab effectively, as Mikey himself was also managing to land his jab, despite the reach disadvantage. Yeah, Mikey wasn't having any trouble getting close. And Easter had a huge height and reach advantage. From round 6, Mikey controlled the fight. It appeared that Easter became wary of Mikey's power and began to fight more cautiously. Both fighters traded in round 9, with Mikey landing hard shots to the body and Easter landing with his left hand. In rounds 10 and 11, Easter took punishment against the ropes. Mikey then finished strong in the final round, and CompuBox showed that Mikey outlanded Easter 95-34 in total punches over the final 4 rounds. And overall, Mikey landed 176 punches of 555, 32%. Easter had 129 of 502, 25%. Easter landed 89 of 343 jabs. However, he had more success in the first half of the fight with his jab. Okay? On unifying, Mikey said, "It's a great accomplishment. Now we're back. I told you guys I was coming for bigger things, and now we're one step closer to achieving that. I knew he was a tough opponent. He's a tough warrior. He gave a great fight, but I was the better fighter. I was in control of the fight, and I did what I had to do to win." Easter was humble in defeat and gave full credit to Mikey. "He was just a better man tonight. I take my hat off to Mikey. He's a true warrior. Whenever we step in the ring, we are both putting our lives on the line, and tonight, Mikey was victorious. I just couldn't find the timing, and I just couldn't let my right hand go." Mikey also reiterated his desire to fight IBF welterweight champion Earl Spence Jr. by the end of 2018. Spence, who was at ringside, also admitted the fight was too big to turn down and would not be hard to make. Mikey reportedly earned around $1 million purse, and the fight averaged 680,000 viewers, peaked at 725,000. Okay, and so next was this one. I see something, or I thought I saw something, or something. Right? Something. But that was next. Now, how did that get up there? Lean to that. Yeah, there we go. Spence versus Garcia. Okay, that was next. Mikey said he wanted it. Earl said it was worth too much to turn down. So they made it. And Earl said it wasn't hard to make, remember? Okay, so, excuse me for 1 minute. Oh, here we go. Okay. On July 31st, 2018, the IBF ordered Mikey to defend his newly won title against mandatory challenger Richard Comey. This was at lightweight, right? With a deal to be reached by August 30th. Then IBF champion Easter was ordered to fight Comey before March 30th, 2018. However, the IBF granted an exception for the Garcia-Easter unification fight, as long as the winner satisfied their mandatory nicks. On October 19th, Comey tweeted that the IBF had ordered a fight to go to purse bid, as Mikey, the winner of the Easter fight, had not signed his side of the contract. On October 25th, BoxingScene.com reported that negotiations between Mikey and Earl Spence Jr. were progressing, with the fight likely to take place in February 2019 on Showtime pay-per-view. Okay? So, on October 30th, 2018, Mikey vacated his IBF lightweight title, and the purse bid for the potential Comey fight was canceled. On November 13th, PBC made an official announcement for their 2019 schedule. It was announced the fight between Mikey and Earl would take place at the welterweight limit at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on March 16, 2019, exclusively on Fox pay-per-view. Now, many fans reacted to the fight being announced. Some welcomed the fight and praised Mikey for daring to be great. And other fans believed the size difference would be too great, as much as Spence is considered a big welterweight. So some fans thought Mikey was daring to be great, and other fans thought the size differential would be too great. But anyway, it went down. Okay, Mikey and Earl. On the night, Earl completely outclassed and dominated Mikey, using his superior reach to constantly land jabs to the head and body from a distance, landing 108 over the course of the fight. Mikey tried to close the distance, but with Earl's weight and height advantage, he was able to completely dominate Mikey, even in the pocket. In rounds 8 and 9, Earl landed over 100 punches in 2 rounds, with the majority being power shots, constantly using lead hooks and uppercuts, on the increasingly backing up Mikey. In total, Earl landed 345 punches to Mikey's 75. 345 to 75. Mikey was unable to land double-digit punches in any of the 12 rounds. The scorecards on the night read 120 to 107 and 120 to 108 twice, to give Spence a perfect 12-round shutout victory. After the fight, Earl was joined in the ring by 8th Division World Champion Manny Pacquiao. Both stated they would love to fight each other next. Yeah, but that didn't happen. That's when the Chacharetna came about. Okay. So a crowd of 47,525 attended the event, generating a live gate of $5 million, according to ESPN. Fox's first pay-per-view sold over 360,000 buys, possibly up to 380,000, generating a minimum $27 million domestically, right? It was considered a success considering PBC's recent pay-per-views and the fact it was a pay-per-view debut for both boxers. Mikey and Earl had a base purse of $3 million, up to $8 million based on pay-per-view sales. Okay? Coming to the end now, okay, of his career. Next was Vargas. Mikey versus Vargas was next. Okay? After a layoff of almost a year, in December 2019, Mikey signed a one-fight deal to headline a Matchroom boxing card on the Zone on February 29th, 2020, at the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas, in his second fight at welterweight against former 2-division world champion Jesse Vargas, who was ranked number 4 by the WBO at welterweight. Now, the fight was scheduled for 12 rounds. Mikey believed their different styles would make for a good fight. Mikey said the contract he signed was the right deal and the right agreement. It was well known that Eddie Hearn wanted to sign Mikey when he first began to promote fights in the United States. Now, Mikey agreed to sign on a fight-by-fight basis so he could avoid being tied down into a contract and have more freedom. His purse was reported to be $7 million for this fight. Now, Mikey explained he originally wished to return to super lightweight, but wanted a top contender following his first professional loss. However, there were no boxers available who fitted these criteria, so he instead opted to stay at welterweight. Despite the fight not being contested for a world title, full VADA testing was carried out, as both were tested on a regular basis. 2 weeks before the fight, the WBC announced their diamond belt would be awarded to the winner. Mikey weighed 145.8 and Vargas weighed 147 pounds, right at the limit. Okay? So this is Mikey's second fight in the welterweight division. Okay? That was the only division he didn't win a title in, was welterweight, out of his 5 divisions he competed in. Right? In a hard-fought battle, Mikey dropped Vargas in the 5th round and earned a unanimous decision victory with scores of 114-113 and 116-111 twice to capture the WBC diamond belt. Well, he won that WBC diamond belt in welterweight, but no major belt at welterweight. Mikey began slow, allowing Vargas to outbox him in the opening rounds. The turning point was in round 5 after Mikey landed a right hand, which dropped Vargas. And Vargas barely beat the count and was again staggered by another right hand when he did get up. Now, Vargas did well to avoid further punishment. From the 6th round, Mikey controlled the remainder of the fight. CompuBox stats saw Mikey land 151 of 478 for 32%, while Vargas landed 142 of 671 for 21%. In his post-fight interview, Mikey stated his intentions to continue fighting in the welterweight division, saying, "I would love to fight against Manny Pacquiao or a rematch with Earl Spence." Why? He just must be going after the money, because a rematch with Earl Spence would have been the exact same thing. He didn't win a round. He got beat bad. Okay. But yeah, I don't even know if all that money would have been there for the rematch after the way the first fight looked. But anyway, Mikey said, "I'm better now at this weight class. I want to continue to campaign at 147 and seek a title in a 5th division." Vargas wanted a rematch, citing only the knockdown was the difference in what he believed was a close fight. Okay, so then Mikey was in negotiations to fight Regis, but that didn't work out. Okay, so let's talk about that. The failed negotiations against Regis Prograis. Okay, remember? Him and Regis was in talks, but that would have been a pretty good fight too. And this would have been back down at 140, but it didn't happen. Okay. Yeah, the negotiations fell through. Failed negotiations with Regis Prograis. In July of 2021, talks emerged for a fight between Mikey and former world champion Regis Prograis to potentially take place in the fall of 2021. Now, Mikey told reporters the date and venue would depend on when and where Canelo had his next fight. The main reason was to avoid a clash. And if Texas is available, as it was a preferred state for the fight to take place, right, in Texas. Because I think Regis was living in Texas too, right? But Mikey was living in California, but Mexican-American, so Texas would have been a good place. Now, Eddie Hearn, who had promoted Mikey's last fight, was excited about the possibilities of the matchup between Mikey and Regis, as it would also add to his DAZN schedule. Now, neither fighter was signed with DAZN, and Eddie Hearn explained that DAZN was no longer overpaying for fights, as they had previously done. An example of this was Mikey earning a guaranteed $7 million base purse against Vargas, which was a one-fight deal. Now, the Regis fight never came off. This was down to budget issues and DAZN not wanting to overpay. Regis was upset, but understood the business side and it making sense. He did not claim Mikey was avoiding him and hoped the fight could take place in the future. It was reported that DAZN would have only paid Mikey and Regis a combined purse of less than $7 million. Yeah, that would have been a good one. That never took place, but yeah, that would have been a great fight, Mikey and Regis. And then his final fight was, remember, Sandor Martin. They upset everybody. Nobody gave Sandor a chance. He was openly saying at one of the press conferences, Sandor was a tune-up for somebody. I forgot who it was, but let's talk about it. Yeah, he said right in front of Sandor's face, he was a tuna. Right. And they gave Sandor extra incentive. Why would you say that? Keep that kind of stuff to yourself. But Mikey versus Sandor Martin. After a layoff of almost 20 months since his last fight on September 8, 2021, it was announced that Mikey would return to the ring against European super lightweight champion Sandor Martin on October 16th in Fresno, California. Now, the fight was to be contested at a catch weight of 145 pounds. They both Sandor was a super lightweight. Mikey had fought at 147. Sandor was coming up. Catch weight 145. Because Sandor was a 140 pounder, remember. Still is. So 145. Now, the idea was for Mikey to shake off the ring rust and then move on to fight Regis Prograis in 2022. Yeah. because they were still trying to make the Regis fight, but since this fell apart, this was like a stay busy fight. Take off some ring rust for Mikey. And he said that right and Sandor was sitting right there, I forget, at a press conference or something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, Sandor Martin stated he was here for an upset and would prove to everyone it was a mistake to pick him as an opponent. It's like a stay busy fight. Sandor said, you're making a big mistake. You're picking the wrong one for a stay busy. And Sandor had a fight scheduled in Barcelona for September 11th, but soon pulled out to accept the Mikey fight. Now, Mikey weighed 143.6, and Sandor, who was fighting in the United States for the first time as a pro, weighed 144. Sandor came into the fight on a 9-fight winning streak. And Sandor was a 10-1 underdog heading into the fight and was said to be a hand-picked opponent by Team Garcia in Matchroom Boxing. Right? Yeah. Hand-picked Sandor. Sandor was pissed off about that too. Like, you made a mistake hand-picking me, Mikey. I'm going to show you too. Okay? But anyway, yeah. And Sandor was on a 9-fight winning streak, right? Despite being a nearly minus 2,000 pre-fight betting favorite, Mikey suffered his second professional defeat when he was outboxed to a majority decision loss with scores of 95-95 and 97-93 twice, all in favor of Sandor. And that judge 95-95, I don't know what fight he was watching. I don't know what fight that judge was watching. Sandor clearly won that one. In his post-fight interview, Mikey offered his opinion on the fight. I thought it was a good fight. Martin fought a very good fight. I thought I did the necessary to close the gap, putting the pressure, looking for the fight. He was the one moving, running around a lot. He counted me a few times, but I was the one actively looking for the fight. Well, cut the ring off then, damn it. I get tired of them talking about he was a runner. Cut the damn ring off. Excuse me. I get tired of fighters saying that. Cut the ring off. Stop him from running, right? This Mike is still talking. I thought I was ahead on the cards. Martin boxed off the back foot from the start, with his best punch being a straight left, which landed many times throughout the fight. Mikey, who intended to gain rounds in the fight and shake off any ring rust, failed to do so, as he looked slow. And fans in attendance failed to lift Garcia's spirits in the 7th round with Mikey chants. And in the 10th round, Martin landed 31 punches. This was the second most landed on Mikey in his career after Earl Spence. So that was the most in any round after Earl, because Earl landed 100 in like 2 rounds on it, right? Now, Mikey didn't make any excuses following the loss, and despite not having a rematch clause in the contract, both were open to having one. According to CompuBox, Mikey was credited with landing 60 of his 318 punches for 19%, and Martin outworked him, landing 75 of 231 for 33%. So how does Judge get 114 to 114? Man outlanded him by 14 percentage points, okay? Now, the event, which took place at Chuck Hansi Park, was attended by 8,000 fans. Mikey's purse for the fight was $1.5 million, and Sandor earned $150,000. The fight was awarded 2021 BoxingScene.com's Upset of the Year. I get so tired of these fighters saying he ran. Cut the damn ring off. Stop him from running. Or either shut the hell up. I'm sorry, that get on my nerves. Cut the ring off. Very simple. It ain't rocket science, right? That's what it is, Sandor. Yeah. Okay. So retirement. That was Mikey's last fight with Sandor Martin, right? Retirement. Mikey spoke to ES News days after the Martin fight. He ensured the loss would not define his career, and he would continue fighting. He said, "It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of my career. People might think a loss is such a big deal and going into depression. No, I'm not. I'm jumping right back in. I'm not worried about it. A loss is nothing. It's part of boxing. It happens. People take losses in other areas of life. You can't let a loss keep you down. Get the F up. Move on. Leave it behind you. Go forward. You can't be dwelling on the past. You get all depressed and shit. You have to keep moving forward in what's next. That's how I see it. It's part of the sport. No big deal. It's not the first time I lost. I lost 12 times as an amateur. Who gives a F? Does anybody talk about that? Who cares? Move on." Mikey also stated the loss was motivation for him, and he hoped to see Martin in a rematch after a few wins. For now, Mikey said he would campaign in the super lightweight division. He said he was going to go back to 140, but he never came back. He never fought again after that. Okay? Yeah. Wait a minute. He said he intended to, but he never did. Okay? In June of 2022, Mikey changed his profile on his Instagram account to read, "Retired world champion, 126, 130, 135, 140 pounds," indicating he had retired. He did not make a post himself. However, his older brother and trainer, Robert Garcia, confirmed the news. He told Fight Hub TV, "It's time for him to enjoy his kids, his family, his loved ones. I think he made the right decision. When a fighter doesn't want it, doesn't have the hunger, we're not going to go in there and risk our lives." Robert agreed with his decision to hang up his gloves. In July 2022, Mikey himself confirmed his retirement when he told Boxing Social, "I'm not planning on fighting anymore. I'm done. I had a good career. I'm happy with everything. It's time to move on." When asked which fight was the most memorable in his career, he replied, "There have been many, man. Every fight was special for a reason. I'm happy with everything that I have accomplished with my career, and I'm happy to say goodbye as well." He retired as a former 40 division champion with a record of 40 wins, 2 losses, 30 knockouts at the age of 34. Yeah, that was a great move, and he never came back, right? Now, the media caught up with Mikey in August of 2023 to ask how about retirement and if he regretted anything. Mikey responded, no. He was asked due to the number of recently retired fighters, including Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, taking part in exhibition fights. But Mikey said no. And he had a great career. There you have it, the life and career of Mikey Garcia. Yeah, 4-weight world champion. Only lost 2 fights in his career. One of them, he never should have been in there with Earl, right? And then Sandor Martin took him lightly. Was looking past Sandor to making a Regis fight, right? So both of those losses are very explainable. Shouldn't have been in there with Earl and took Sandor Martin light. Okay. Remember, they was at one of the press conferences. Sandor was sitting right there, and Mikey was like, "This is like a tune-up, right? Stay busy. Get up the ring rust off fight." And Sandor was sitting right there listening to him. Yeah. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And he paid for that. That gave Sandor extra motivation. You don't sit right there in your opponent's face and say, well, you just a tune-up. Let's look at Mikey's, I think his best work was at 140. So, let's look at the Cash Sports top 10 140 pounders now. Okay? The Cash Sports top 10 140 pounders in 1 minute. Coming up in 1 minute. Remember, like last week, we did Shakur, then we did the top 10 135 pounders. Top 10 140 pounders now. Okay? Teofimo is number 1. Yeah. I got Teofimo number 1. Dude got skills. He just a-hole, but he do have skills. Okay. I'm looking at him as a boxer, not as a person. Okay. I had lost the chat. There we go. I got to be able to see the chat, right? I keep hitting that chord. That's why that noise y'all hear. I heard that in the playback yesterday. I was like, damn, I was tearing their ears up. Wow. Okay, Teofimo Lopez, number 1. Currently, Teofimo is 22 wins, 1 loss, 13 knockouts. Okay? George Kambosos beat Teofimo. Okay, let's talk about Teofimo briefly. Teofimo Lopez. There we go. Okay. Now, Teofimo is a 2-weight world champion currently. Currently holds a 140 belt. He was born in New York City in 1997. He won the 2015 Golden Gloves lightweight title and turned pro in 2016. He's held the WBO, WBA, and IBF lightweight belts and is the current WBO junior welterweight champion. Teofimo is known for his confidence and brashness, which one attributes to his father and trainer, Teofimo Lopez Sr. Okay, number 2, the Cast Sports Top 10 at 140. Number 2 is Richardson Hitchens. Like Jay Hartko always say, he got a great name for a boxer. Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens. Okay. Oh yeah, Richardson is currently, what is Richardson? 20 wins, no losses. 8 by the knockout route for Richardson Hitchens. Okay. Now Richardson is a former Olympian who has held the International Boxing Federation junior welterweight title since December 2024. He currently holds that belt, IBF. Hitchens credits his success to hard work, dedication, and God-given talent. He's known for fighting effectively behind his jab and for having a good defense. During fights, Hitchens once told his opponents, corner, if you love your son, you better stop this fight. Right? If you love your son, you better stop this thing, man. Okay. Now, number 3. This could be him and Hitchison could switch. Number 3, the Cast Sports current top 10 at junior lightweight is Gary Antoine Russell. Currently 18 wins, 1 loss, 17 knockouts, 94.4% knockout ratio for Gary Antoine. Coming in at number 3 on the Cast Sports currently top 10, 140 pounds. There's Gary Antoine. Okay. Oh, shoot. Gary Antoine Russell. Yes. Bear with me for a second. Come on, Gary. Yeah. Come on, Gary Antoine. Come on. Came up this morning. Bear with me for a moment, please. Man, I can't get Gary. Okay. Bear with me. There we go. Gary Antoine. I knew Gary was going to do it for me. Now, Gary has held the WBA super lightweight title since early 2025, okay? Took it off Rio. As an amateur, he represented the United States in the junior welterweight division at the 2016 Summer Olympics, but was controversially eliminated in the third fight. Yeah, they hard on the Americans in those international competitions. even when they held in the United States. Remember the one Floyd got cheated in was in Atlanta, right? Americans ain't even safe in international competitions, even when they held in the United States. So Gurry was controversially eliminated in the third round in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 2016 Olympics. He's a younger brother of former WBC featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr. Gary Antoine, number 3 at 140. Okay. So number 4 is Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias is number 4 on the Cast Sports Top 10 current 140 pounders. Subriel Matias. There you go. Okay, Subriel. Subriel is currently 23 wins, 2 losses, 22 knockouts, 95.6%. Just like Gary Antoine, only one man has went the distance in their wins. Okay, Gary Antoine is 94.4%. Subriel is 95.6%. Okay, Subriel has a couple more fights, but I would like to see that with Subriel and Gary Antoine. Now, Subriel is a Puerto Rican pro boxer. He's held the WBC title since July 2025, and the International Boxing Federation title. He had that from 2023 to 2024. He lost that one. That's the one Hitchison has now. Now, in 2023, the IBF named Subriel Boxer of the Year. Known for his relentless punching, Matias built an impressive amateur record and transitioned smoothly to the professional ranks. Experts consider him one of boxing's hardest hitters. His knockout ratio confirms that. Okay, rounding out the top 5 on the Cast Sports currently top 10 140 pounders is Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall. Jack is currently, he fights tomorrow. 31 wins, 2 losses, 13 knockouts. Jack got robbed of undisputed. May not never get another chance at that. Remember the Jack Taylor fight? Got robbed of undisputed, man. Jack Catterall. Yep. Got robbed of undisputed. Anybody know how to spell Catterall? Okay, there's Jack. Okay. Yeah, I gave you Jack's record, right? Yeah. 31-2 with 13 knockouts. Okay. Now, Jack is from the United Kingdom, and he goes by the aliases of El Gato and the Harlem Eubank. He's the current WBA International and IBF Intercontinental welterweight champion. What? The Catterall held the British junior welterweight title from 2017 to 2018 and challenged for the undisputed junior welterweight title in 2022. That's what he got robbed in. Remember, George Taylor? He trains from Chantel Cameron and Akib Fiaz under Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis. Jack Catterall coming in at number 5. Yeah, Jack with Bozy now. That's right. Al Booger. Yeah, he with Bozy now. And he fights tomorrow. Jack does. Number 6. Yeah, we're going to get him in too. We still got 15 minutes. Number 6 is Arnold Barboza. Okay. And Arnold is currently 32 wins, 1 loss with 11 knockouts. Okay. Arnold Barboza. Yes. Okay. These voice commands is working good today. But Arnold Barboza. Right. Is Arnold still at super lightweight? He's a WBO interim super lightweight world champion. Interim. Known for his technical skill and versatile style. Barboza turned pro in 2013 and quickly gained recognition as a promising talent. In 2020, he won a highly anticipated fight against Alex Ocedo. As of April 2025, the ring ranked him the 4th best active junior welterweight in the world. The ring don't know what they're talking about. I got him 6. The ring usually copy off of me, but they got him 4th. And one of them don't have him 6. Man, they must have. Well, I just made this ranking yesterday. The ring didn't see it yet. That's right. Okay. Number 7, Liam Perro. Liam Perro is 26 wins, 1 loss, 16 knockouts. Took his first loss when he lost his title to Richardson Hitchens. Liam Perro. P-A-R-O. Liam Perro. Okay. Let's talk about Liam. Yeah. Okay. Now he's an Australian pro boxer from Mackay, Queensland. He had the IBF junior welterweight title in 2024. Lost that to Richardson Hitchens. Now Perro trained with future world champion Jeff Horn in Brisbane and even sparred with him as he prepared to fight Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, remember Perro was sparring with Horn when he trained to fight Pacquiao. Horn. Now Perro's career has been marked by strategic victories and rapid success, building his reputation and skill level in the super lightweight division, where he's currently, Cast Sports has him number 7. Okay. And number 8 is Albert Puello. Albert is 24 wins, just 1 loss, and 10 knockouts for Albert. Yeah. Albert Puello. All right, there's Albert. Now, Albert is a 2-time super lightweight champion, right? He's from the Dominican Republic. He goes by the nickname La Avispa and trains in Las Vegas, Nevada. Puello held the WBA super lightweight title from 2022 to 2023, and he had the WBC title from 2024 to 2025. He successfully defended his WBA title against Christian Rafael Correa and Jesus Antonio Rubio before he lost it. Okay, Albert. And then number 9, we got 2 more. Number 9 is Andy Hiriaka. Yeah, I didn't know Andy's father was African, but I was looking at it like, wow, Andy got some kind of African in him. You just look at it. Yeah, his father is African. I did not know that until yesterday. Why didn't somebody tell me? Huh? Yeah, but Andy is number 9. And he's currently 24 wins, no losses, 19 knockouts. 79.1% knockout ratio for Andy. Okay? Yep. Andy. Okay? And he's from Yokohama, Japan. He's a former World Boxing Organization Asia Pacific super lightweight champion. Okay? Andy, coming off a big win over, a few years back. What was it, last year? He beat the old guy, Barroso. And finally, rounding out the top 10 is Sandor Martin. We just got finished talking about Sandor and Mikey. Sandor Martin ranks out the top Cast Sports top 10 current super lightweight. Sandor. And Sandor is currently 42 wins, 4 losses, 15 knockouts. Veteran fighter, Sandor. 46 fights currently. Yep. Now his nickname, Arosando. He's a Spanish professional boxer from Barcelona, Spain. He has held the European super lightweight title since 2019. speaker. He's currently the European super lightweight title, and he's held that title for 6 years, right? Known for its quick footwork and counterpunching, Martin rose through the ranks of Spanish amateur fighters, winning the Spanish national championships. His success caught the attention of professional scouts and promoters, leading to his transition to professional boxing. So there's the Cash Sports Top 10 super lightweights. Okay, let's review. Number 1, Teofimo Lopez. Number 2, Richardson Hitchens. Number 3, Gary Antoine Russell. Number 4, Subriel Matias. Rounding out the top 5, at 5, Jack Catterall, now trained by Bozy Ennis. Number 6, Arnold Barboza Jr. Number 7, Liam Pyro. Number 8, Albert Puello. Number 9, Andy Hiriaka. And number 10, Sandor Martin, veteran fighter, 46 fights in. Okay, and that's the week on Cash Sports. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Monday, the trilogy is going to be going to be The Man of Steel, Tony Zale versus Rocky Graciano. 2 of their 3-fight trilogy. 2 of them were fights of the year. So you know that was a good one. 2 fights of the year. The first 2 were both comeback wins. So don't miss that Monday. The Man of Steel, Tony Zale against Rocky Graciano. That's Monday on Cash Sports The Box Story. We appreciate everybody for coming through this week. Hope you enjoyed the show today and all week long. And we got some big ones tomorrow. We got the Eubank Ben rivalry continues with the rematch. I got Eubank by decision. A lot of people got Eubank by stoppage. And then Jack Catterall, who we were just talking about, he's number 5, top 5 on the Cash Sports Top Super Lightweights. And then Jack is fighting Adam Azim on the card. A host of great UK fighters in there tomorrow. So that should be good. Okay. And then, next week is fight week for the big one. Devin and Brian Norman. Like I was saying, Benavidez and Yard is the main event, but everybody been talking about it. What everybody waiting for is Devin and B. Norman, right? I still got Devin by decision. Okay. My friend Boxing Arnie done switched on me. He done went to B. Norman on me. Boxing Arnie. Arnie Boxing. They went to B. Norman on me. But I still got Devin. Okay, by decision. And I'll be here for my crow next Monday. Not this Monday, next Monday. Because next week is fight week for it, right? In Riyadh season. So that should be good. Should be a great card of fights. Irony Boxing, BVO Sports TV, Ant McQueen, Bruce Gass, Mike Massey, Mike Rem, Al Booger, Crush the Legend, Miss Cass. And don't forget, take a look at that Holyfield and Burt Cooper. Just look at the third round if you don't want to watch the whole fight. I guarantee you, after you watch that third round, you will watch the whole fight. But they call that third round one of the best in heavyweight history. They went at it, man. They started out, Cooper hurt Holyfield bad. Had Holyfield almost ready to go up out of there, man. Yeah. And Cooper punched himself out. Instead of changing levels and everything, Holyfield's body was wide open. But he just was headhunting, trying to get him out of there, punched himself out. Then Holyfield came back and had him in trouble. See, look at Holyfield. And Cooper had almost 2 minutes. Look at Holyfield. Anytime you can look at somebody's legs on a picture and see him, you can imagine watching the film of it. But Cooper punched himself out, and Holyfield had amazing recuperative powers. And he got back in it and hurt Cooper. What's up, Just Do Boxing? Coming up in a couple minutes. Salute. But Holyfield came back and hurt Cooper. And Holyfield was landing on Cooper, but Cooper just got that iron chin. Holyfield couldn't get him out of there. Cooper wasn't going nowhere. So Holyfield punched himself out. Now he tired. Now we get toward the end of the round. Cooper came back and started landing shots on Holyfield. And at the bell, Cooper had took back over, was hurting Holyfield again in the round ended. So that was the fight of the day today. If not anything, just watch that third round, man. That was a great fight. Okay. But I appreciate everybody for coming through. That's the week on Cast Sports the Box Story. And we will be back next week with some more boxing history. Starting Trilogy Monday off with Tony Zale, the Man of Steel against The Rock, Rocky Graciano. Not Marciano, Graciano. Isn't that something that had their names? Rocky Marciano, Rocky Graciano. And neither one were the real names. They both changed them. But Rocky Graciano was first though. But that's the Trilogy Monday, okay? And I appreciate everybody for coming through today. And have a great weekend. We got like 3 cards tomorrow that I know of, but the big one, I guess, is Eubanks and Ben. And Jack Catterall on that card, remember? Adam Azim, young, promising British fighter, on there. So, yeah, that should be good. Okay? And that's tomorrow. Yeah, that's tomorrow. Right. Yeah, there's Jack Catterall right there. He's on there. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I appreciate everybody. Just Do Boxing is on deck. This is Cast Sports the Box Story. And I appreciate everybody 1,000% for your support. And have a great weekend. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's The Box Story, bringing you all of that boxing history.